What's up, guys? Today we're talking about some really fantastic strategy RPGs in the vein of, say, Final Fantasy Tactics, which in my opinion is one of the best games of all time. So, if you like that like I do, and you're looking for a game similar to that, now here's a list. So, check it out, tell me which ones you like, and let me know if I missed any down in the comments. Let's go. First up, we got the Disgaea series. Now, there's several of these games, 1 complete, 4 complete, 5 complete, whatever. 6 is out there, 7 is coming soon. There is 2 and 3. I think though those are all, like, if you're a PlayStation person, those are on PlayStation 3, and so you can only play those via streaming. Although you can get them on Steam and stuff. So if you like those ones, you can get those too. As of now, 5 is my personal favorite, but 7 looks really good. I just wasn't as huge a fan of the 3D style they brought in on 6, so we'll see how they implement it. 7 is coming out in North America here pretty soon. All of that said, these games are wacky, they're a little silly, but the RPG mechanics are there. They're really, really deep. I mean, you can go into an item world and make every single item all the way up to like level whatever, 9 bajillion, right? I mean, this game is crazy detailed. Lots and lots and lots of mechanics to get into. It can be a little overwhelming if you're not used to these kind of games, but look up a guide or something. It's really fun. The stories can get a bit much, a little crazy, but they're fun to play. And I really enjoy the style of these games, the classes and the changing of your characters and stuff is really fun. And once you kind of get some of the ideas on how this works, you can really break the game. And that is always super fun, in my opinion. So check out a Disgaea game if you haven't already. If you have, you probably already know what I'm talking about. All right, next up, I'm gonna be fully honest here. This one is maybe not sure that it deserves to be here, okay? And that's Redemption Reapers. Now, this game has had a pretty mixed reception on release. Several people I know said it was terrible. They didn't like it at all. So I know a few others that really did enjoy it quite a bit. I haven't played it yet. It's on the list for me, but I haven't gotten to it. So just based on comments and watching it, it's something that you probably want to watch reviews, especially if there's someone who you tend to agree with who's done this. What I see though is some pretty cool graphics. They're not top of the line amazing, but pretty cool looking, decent. It's dark and dingy and that kind of atmosphere. It's supposed to be oppressive, right? It just kind of seems like everything keeps going wrong and you're just fighting against the tide. So that could either be a really big turnoff or be something you're really interested in. The mechanics of raising your characters and stuff sounds different. All of that said, I like the idea of this game. I like the look of this game. Its mediocre reception makes it a little sketchy, a little scary, right? So you gotta kind of judge for yourself. We may scratch this game if I get to play it and don't like it, but let me know if you played it, what you think. It doesn't seem, I don't know. I'm up on the air, and so maybe I shouldn't have included it in the video, but it is out there. It's a newer strategy RPG, and I felt like it should be included, so it's in here. So let me know if you tried it, what you thought. All right, next up is Fire Emblem. Now this is tried and true, right? This is a series that's gone back a long ways. Unfortunately, it's locked to the Switch. I really think there'd be a cool future for this if it was at least on PC, but alas, that's not the case. Right now, right, easily playable is the newest one, Engage, and then Three Houses. And both are pretty good, right? So Three Houses is more story centric and focuses a lot more on like the relationships with characters and stuff. Engage seems to have a better battle system and more of the core kind of RPG stuff. So depending on where you fall and what you like, you got an option there, right? The graphics on these are pretty fun. I mean, you know, I know in the Engage, people are calling the main character toothpaste or whatever. You know, that's up to you. If that bothers you, then don't play Three Houses. You know, there's definitely some outdated stuff in Three Houses in particular, but you know, so just to be aware of that. But really pretty good mechanics, pretty good battle system, pretty good RPG stuff, and so it's a good time. The story's worth it. Yeah, so give those a shot if you haven't already. Those are good ones. All right, next up is Dark Deity. Now, this is a great kind of old school Fire Emblem. You got a second one coming out too. So if you end up liking this game, then you got something to look forward to. It's a little indie team. They do a really good job. Dark Deity had a pretty good story. Had lots of classes and differences to change your characters, right? I had a little issue. It took a long time, especially to get from your second tier class to your third tier class. You felt like you were the same one forever. And sometimes the hit percentages don't make any sense. Like one class against another, maybe you're weak to it, but instead of like maybe not doing much damage, you just like can't hit them or will do 0. I don't know. Some of those kind of bug me, but overall, I thought it was pretty fun. It was a pretty good game, and I'm really looking forward to the second one. I'll bet they do a lot of upgrades. They seem to really be paying attention, and so they do some quality of life updates and stuff like that. I really think that the second game has a lot going for it. If you have Epic, they gave away Dark Deity for free, so you might already have it in your library. You might not even know it. So yeah, and even if you don't, I mean, it's not super expensive or anything. So check it out. It's a cool game, and this is definitely one I would recommend you give a shot. All right. Next up is Triangle Strategy. Now, Triangle Strategy was initially locked to the Switch. It's from Square Enix, but it's on Steam now. Okay, and so that's definitely where I'd play it. But if you like your stuff on the go, give it. The truth is, the visuals look great on the Switch, so it's probably fine. It'll run faster and easier on the computer, but yeah, it's a great game. Okay, this has a very similar style to Final Fantasy Tactics. The units are really cool. You got lots of different units, and they each have like their own kind of build and way you can raise them up. It's kind of a bummer though, you can't change classes, right? And so if you want a different class, you have to use a different character. They don't all level up together, so if you don't use some units, they fall by the wayside and they're no good to you. I mean, they do have in your camp, you can go into these kind of, they're not random battles, but you can go into these set battles at different levels to kind of raise them up. But that sucks, right? That's a pain. And because there's so many units, sometimes like if you've done some grinding, you're leveling up, getting yourself strong, and then you get a unit, you're like, oh, I want to try you. Oh, but you're 7 levels behind. Nah, I just won't. And so while there's some really cool characters, I did find that I had kind of my set group maybe halfway through or so, and I just never took anyone else, right? Like, even you get these new characters that are cool looking, but I don't know if they'll fit the same way, and my party's working, and so I just stayed with it. And so that's kind of a bummer, and depending on your personality, that might change how much that matters to you. But that said, the story of Triangle Strategy is phenomenal. Love this game. You get choices that really make meaningful changes to the story and the game, and so yeah, highly recommend this one. Next up, we got Valkyria Chronicles. Now, this one right now, 1 and 4 are really the two options to you. 2, I think it's like mobile or something. 3 never left Japan. So 1 and 4. Okay, 1 has a remastered, and then 4 is not that old. So and they're cheap. Okay, you wait for a sale, you can get like a bundle of the 2 games for like $8. So really good deals on these games. And these are not straight Final Fantasy Tactics, right? Because there's like free roaming. So you kind of run around the field to where you're gonna be, take your aim and shoot, but then you're in a tactical position, and then you move to a different character, right? And so it's kind of a mix, like XCOM meets, I don't even know how to describe it. It's pretty unique. Anime characters. The story is a good kind of like wartime story, right? Of this group who's fighting against the odds, right? It looks beautiful. The stories are good and touching, and the characters are really well designed. The visuals are super good. It's a cheap game. I mean, there's a lot going for it. It's different, and so you kind of got to get over that, right? Like, because it's not the tile base, it has a different setup. It might drive some people away, and I totally get that. Definitely recommend giving this a shot. A lot of people who felt that way, who didn't think it was gonna be in their list, who didn't think it would be something they enjoyed, ended up loving it. The tactics are fun and interesting. The gameplay's good, especially in 4. In 1, there's some kind of cheap ways to break it with scouts and stuff. So you know, there's that. But 4 in particular, really, really good game, and highly recommend you give that one a go. All right, next up, I got DioFIELD Chronicles. Now, this again is a little different. This is another Square game. It's kind of a, you know, B tier, whatever kind of game. It came out. The visuals are pretty different and unique, and the gameplay, the strategy meets almost RTS kind of gameplay, where everything's kind of moving and you essentially pause to this. It's not fully paused, though. Things do keep moving, just very, very slow. And then you tell people what moves to do, who to attack, whatever. Now, at first, it sounds weird, okay? When I first saw the trailers for this, I was like, I don't know about that. But it's super fun. It makes like tactic gameplay, but faster and more engaging. Don't get me wrong, I love the tile-based. That's still probably my favorite, but this is a cool and unique kind of take on the strategy gameplay. The RPG stuff is good, not great. You'll find pretty early on that like there's one method that's pretty broken, and I pretty much use that the whole game. However, I'll say that at one point they took that option away and I had to figure something else out. So don't rely all on one thing, right? Figure out some options. That said though, I mean, I thought the story was pretty good. It was a little weird. It wasn't finished, I guess, I thought. But what was there I thought was pretty good. The characters are unique and different. There's some really interesting ones in this game. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to a sequel. Hopeful. I don't know if they're gonna make one, but I hope this team gets another shot at this, because I think they were on to some good ideas here, and if they were given a shot to learn from that, I bet they could make something really cool. I really recommend giving this a shot. It regularly goes on sale for like 25, 30 bucks now, and man, it's a really fun game. Yeah, I mean, I platinumed this one. It wasn't too hard to get 100%, so if that's your thing too, then that's pretty easy. Give this one a shot. It's really fun, it's really different, and I think it's worth your time. Okay, next up is Fell Seal Arbiter's Mark. Now, this is a indie Final Fantasy Tactics-like. I mean, so similar, right? The way you change classes look similar, the way you move and the abilities and all that stuff, okay? So very, very, very similar. So if you are a Final Fantasy Tactics fan and you really want another tactics game that's like that, this is right there at the top of the list. This game was so fun. The story was really good. I love different units and changing their classes and building abilities, finding the ones I like, what work the best. Main character is really good, and enjoyed their story arc. They're just, oh man, I cannot tell you how good this game is. I spent a lot of time, I think I played 80 hours or something, just doing all kinds of little stuff. I think I platinumed this one as well. They got some DLC out for it. I mean, this game is phenomenal. Really, really loved it. There's some really kind of unique classes and stuff in there too that were really fun. Some battles that were actually really challenging. Just hit the mark on this one. I'm really hopeful that this team is working on another one, because this was fantastic. And again, this one I cannot recommend enough. Okay, like out of all of these games, this is right there at the top of like, you gotta play it. Okay, this is a tremendous game. So make sure you give this one a look. It's so good. The visuals are a little downgraded, right? I mean, that's probably the worst thing I can say. I love this game. And yeah, give this one a shot. Okay, go play it. All right, next up we got Banner of the Maid. Now, this is kind of a alternative history Fire Emblem like. The visuals on this in particular, like the character portraits, look fantastic. Really good models there. The combat in this game, the story of this game, this is a really good tactics RPG. Really good story and character arcs. I mean, if you watch some reviews out there, they're tremendous. Most people are in love with this game. It's overwhelmingly positive, I think, or at least mostly positive on Steam. It's getting high marks all around, and I just don't think you can go wrong. It's got a unique take, right? It's like female Bonaparte. I mean, that's pretty interesting, right? So yeah, so it's very different, but well, very different as far as like the story and history goes. Pretty tried and true tactics oriented battle system and all that stuff. And so this is just another really good option. This is on everything and it's cheap. I think it's 17 bucks when it's not on sale. It goes on sale for, you know, sub 10 pretty often. So yeah, keep an eye on this one. I'd say throw it on your wish list. You see it on sale or whatever, pick it up and give it a go. I think you will be pleasantly surprised. So Banner of the Maid is a really good option. All right, last up is Lost Eidolons. Okay, now you gotta check this one out. This is a fairly recent tactics game. It has kind of mixed Fire Emblem, more Fire Emblem I would say than Final Fantasy Tactics, but still very similar. But the visuals on this are some of the best you're gonna see, especially if you're looking more realistic rather than, you know, like 2D hand-drawn or whatever. The RPG mechanics are there, the story is there. It has a pretty slow start, okay? So if you get bored in the beginning, push through there the story only gets better and better and better as you go. There's some stuff you get to do outside of battle, right? You're developing relationships with characters. There is a little bit of romance, I think, but it's not a huge part, and I believe that's optional. But there's a ton of stuff to do in this game, lots to work through, lots to do outside of it that is optional. There's also, this is pretty heavy on the cutscenes. There's a lot of these cinematic moments, but it's all skippable. So whether maybe you played it a time already or you just don't care about that stuff, you can just skip it all. So that's a good option. There's a lot of difficulty choices, just like how Fire Emblem typically does. You know, permadeath or not, and just the regular kind of difficulty based on basically changing how much damage everybody does. All that stuff. But this game has been high on my radar for quite a while. It looks tremendous. It gets really good marks. I just think this game, it looks tremendous. Yeah, so Lost Eidolons. Keep an eye on this if you haven't already. This one does not tend to go on sale, right? It's like 35 or 40 bucks, and when it goes on sale, it might be 27. I mean, it doesn't go much lower than that. So that's not crazy expensive, but it's not super cheap either. So, you know, you kind of gotta decide on that one. There's a lot of other games on here that do get really cheap. So that might be a difference maker for you. But this one looks absolutely amazing, and there's just a lot of really good stuff to it. So Lost Eidolons, I think, is right up there at the top of the list of ones you should try. So keep an eye on it, take your pick, and see what you think. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is a list of strategy RPGs that I've been keeping an eye on or played or whatever. And so let me know, have you played any of these? What do you think? Also, is there something I missed? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, just as a note, in the comments, I'm going to leave notes for 3 different games I've been keeping an eye on that aren't out yet, but are coming soon, or hopefully soon. One is Arcadian Atlas, and that is coming soon. It's the end of July, and so that looks really good. It's an indie team. It's coming to Steam, and it looks fantastic. There's also 2 that aren't even on Steam yet. These are just Twitter accounts to follow, but these games look tremendous. These are indie developers who are regularly talking about their game, and so I'm going to leave a link down to their accounts down below, but it's Dusk Tactics as well as Tactics Returners. So if you're interested in these kind of games, make sure you keep an eye on those guys. They're doing some great work. Okay? All right, all of that. Thanks again for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We just passed the 500, so thank you so much. You guys are awesome. So thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Later.